Alright guys, Coach Ash here. So today I'm going to be talking about nutrition, and I just want to give a big thanks to SCL Humanity for letting me feature in his YouTube video. So let's just get right into it. So with nutrition, it's 80% of the game. You got to have your nutrition dialed in to fuel your results in the gym. If you're doing work in the gym and you're not focusing on your nutrition, it's going to make it very hard to get where you want to be. So here are going to be my 5 tips to get you started with nutrition. Just get the basics and then move from there. My first tip is to know what macros are. What are different types of macros? So macros is short for macronutrients, and basically you have 3 types. You have your fats, your carbs, and your proteins. All 3 of these are important for your fitness journey. You need to have all 3 of them in your diet. It's very hard to cut one of them out, so you want to make sure you have all 3 of these in your diet. There are different types. So for example, carbs can be things that are starchy or have wheat in them. Things like rice, bread, tortillas, spaghetti, even that. So you got to make sure you know what your carbs are. Carbs are going to fuel your body, so you need them for energy when you're working out in the gym. That's your body's primary source of energy when you're working your muscles. Next, we're going to talk about fats. Fats are good for your hormones, so anytime you sleep or recover, your fats are going to play a role in how your body recovers from those workouts that you do in the gym. You need to make sure you have a sufficient amount of fat, but not too much, because fat does have a lot of calories and it's going to make it harder to lose weight. Other than that, we're going to get into proteins. So proteins are what build your muscles. Proteins are the building blocks of almost everything in the body, so you want to make sure you get enough protein so that your muscles can grow bigger and so that you can repair your muscles. Proteins can be things like red meats, chicken, fish, or even vegan options like tofu, soybeans, edamame, you name it. So you want to make sure you have a sufficient amount of protein, whether you are pescatarian, vegan, or you're just a plain meat eater. You got to make sure you have protein in your diet to get good results when you're growing your muscle. You need to have a variety of different types of proteins in your diet, so you can't eat the same thing over and over again. Although it can work, but proteins are important. Some examples of fat can be anything like butter, oils, dairy, cheese, things like that. Fats are very beneficial. It's going to help with sleep. It's going to help with recovery. It's going to help with your neural system. So you want to make sure you get a good amount of fats in your diet. Second thing. So after you know your macros, you need to know your calories. Now, if you're not going the calorie tracking route, I can show you a different way of how to accurately guesstimate your calories and to still head in the right direction without having to track any numbers or do any math, so to speak. But first one is to know your macros. Second one is to know your calories. So you need to know how much energy your body requires to get to where you want to be. If you're trying to lose weight, you need to know how much food you need to eat. If you're trying to gain weight and build muscle, you also need to know how much food to eat. So knowing your calories are going to be very critical when it comes to getting closer to your goals. It doesn't matter what goal you have, but if you don't adjust your diet and nutrition to that goal, all the work that you're doing in the gym is going to waste. So you want to make sure you know your numbers, know your calories. There's calorie calculators online that you can use to figure this out, and you want to use the ones that use your activity level. That way you get an even more accurate estimate of your calories. Number 3. Now, if you do not want to go through the process of tracking your meals and logging it in a fitness app and doing things like that, you can go the route where you just guesstimate your calories and adjust as you go. But with that route, you do have to have a little more self-control, a little more discipline, and you also have to be aware of what you are putting in your mouth. So it's not like you can just grab a bag of chips and then know how many calories you ate and then you can compensate for it later. You kind of have to know what you are putting in your body. So this is more the intuitive eating approach. A lot of people prefer the intuitive eating approach, but like I said, you do have to be aware of what you are putting in your body. So with intuitive eating, basically the gist is to have as much protein as you can have on a plate. You want to have good sources of complex carbs. So complex carbs can be things like potatoes, brown rice, oatmeal, things like that. And you also want a good healthy portion of vegetables, as well as 1 to 2 as well as 1 to 2 thumbs of fat sources. So that can be sour cream, can be butter, can be dairy, cheese, whatever. Try to keep cheat meals far and few between. If you do go out a lot, or you have a lot of fast food, or a lot of takeout, you want to make sure you get better options. So you want to customize your food. This is also another really good trick. What you can do is you can go to almost any restaurant and you can customize your food. And you ask for certain things that you don't want, or you can add for other things. For example, if you were to go to McDonald's and you want a high protein, low carb type meal, what you would get is a burger. So maybe a McDouble or something with 1 bun, no cheese, and then you have all your sauces and stuff on the side. Simple. It's not very appetizing, but it gets the job done. And if you are going to go that route, you're going to have to make some compromises. All right, so now we're going to go to number 4. Number 4, I want you guys to limit the amount of liquid calories that you consume. So what are liquid calories? A lot of people don't know this, but anytime you drink a soda or a juice, or even have like a coffee, that like a frappuccino from Starbucks, it has a lot of calories in it. And if you drink multiple times a day, like multiple frappuccinos a day, or sodas or juice, those calories can add up pretty quickly and make it harder for you to lose fat or gain muscle if you are trying to push the scale. So when it comes to liquid calories, you want to try to limit that as much as possible. And you want to have, so you want to limit that as much as possible, and you want to have lower calorie options. So there are different low calorie options for almost any drink that you can name. There's lower calorie sodas, there's 0 calorie sodas, there's low calorie juices, and you can find and customize different coffee beverages so that they're lower in calories. Like an Americano, for example. Americano is almost 0 calories because it's just water and coffee with ice. So try to limit your liquid calories. This is going to help a ton especially if you're someone that's trying to lose weight, and you just want to make sure you be aware of that and try to drink more water instead of those liquid calories. Most of those liquid calories do not have a lot of water in them, and if you're drinking those liquid calories, chances are you're not drinking a lot of water. So increase your water intake, decrease liquid calories. And number 5, try some sort of meal prep schedule, or try to cook your foods in bulk so that you have meals ready to go and they're healthy and they're delicious, and you don't have to waste time cooking every night or splurge on getting takeout every night. So meal prepping is something that's going to save you some money. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you a lot of headache. And all you have to do is grab your food from the fridge and heat it up. What I used to do was I would grab my groceries on Saturday, and then on Sunday, I would meal prep for the entire week until next Friday. Half of those meals would go in the freezer so they could stay fresh, and then the other half I would have from Monday to Wednesday. So you just want to keep it simple. Meal prepping is really going to save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, and it's especially great on those days where you just come home and you're exhausted and you just need something to eat. You don't have to touch any dishes. All you got to do is get your meal prep container out of the fridge, heat it up, and you're good to go. So some other tips for meal prepping or cooking in bulk: you can make breakfast burritos or even dinner burritos. All you have to do is have your fillings, like your chicken, your sauce, or vegetables. You don't want to use fresh vegetables like lettuce and things like that. They're not going to freeze well. But if you use like other types of vegetables, like dried vegetables, things like that, they will freeze a little bit better. You can make breakfast burritos. All you got to do is cook up some eggs, add some toppings. You can add some cooked spinach, and it's going to last you 3 months if you go that route. So super healthy options. You want to make sure you cook in bulk. It's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and it's something that's really helped me get closer to my goals. So there it is, guys. Those are my 5 tips. So you want to know your macros, you want to know your calories. The third one, you want to intuitively eat. If you're going to intuitively eat, be aware of what you're eating. Fourth one, liquid calories, try to reduce that. And then my fifth one, meal prep or cook in bulk. Those are my basic nutrition tips for you to get started on your fitness journey. From there, you can customize it as you get to know your body and do what works for you. Thanks to STL Humanity for letting me be in his video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Hey, shout out to the people who done made it 10 minutes into this video. Now, my homegirl taught you how to eat, and I'm going to try to teach you how to lift. Now, before I get started with this, I'm going to let you know right now, I cannot put all the exercises in this 10 to 20 minutes worth of a video I'm going to be talking on. The first 10 minutes of me going to be me kind of explaining what I'm doing and why I'm kind of doing it. The last 10 minutes or maybe even 5, I may cut the video down. It's going to be me giving you some tips and what I've learned in the five years I've been lifting. Now, anybody that knows me knows when it comes to exercise or working out or whatever, the first thing I like to do is some low cable rows, warm up my back and shoulders a little bit. And then I usually go to some lat pull downs, which I'm doing on the right side of what you should be seeing right about now. If I sync this up right, don't judge me for that ghetto edit I'm finna do. Too bad. Now, a big back equals a big bench. Usually, a big, strong back also equals good posture, too. Slash a nice fat deadlift. Now, when it comes to low cable rows and lat pull downs, I'm not going to lie and say I don't assassinate them, but I kind of do. Like, for you, I'm going to say do, let's say, 3 sets of 15 at I'm going to say 65% of your max. I personally probably do 5 sets around 20, or if I'm going strength training, I may mess around and do 5 sets of 5 to start off with for the strength part, and then do some endurance, burnout sets of around 15 to 20. Now what you should be seeing on the screen, if I edit this right, yep, another ghetto part of my video, don't judge me. On the left side is me, well, it ain't even the left side, it's actually the big screen. I'm hitting my side delts when I'm pulling that band apart. When you see me walking in a circle, I'm doing that to open up my chest, hit my rotator cuffs, hit my rear delts. I don't think you can never, or should I say ever, do enough of the stuff you're currently seeing on this video. Especially one that I'm currently doing right now where I'm opening my arms directly towards the left and right. Same thing goes for the face pulls you're seeing me doing on the right side of this video where I'm pulling the band towards my forehead. Once I started incorporating them into my training, my overhead press flew up. I fixed my bad left shoulder when I was 2 years into lifting, but it keeps your shoulders healthy, murders your rear delts, at least the variant I'm doing. You also got one for the rear delts, but you'll have to pretty much pull it a little lower. I'm sure y'all have seen that if you were on Instagram or whatever. You currently seeing me do well, it's the same thing, it's just a different angle of it. Kind of allows you to see the back. Do you know that rear delt that I'm always talking about? Alright, I'm using my phone to record this and it's messing up. Now my app that I usually use. But anyways, currently what you're seeing me do on the left is some push-ups. I'm sure we've been doing those since high school. And towards the right is a chest press. They both, in my opinion, feel the exact same. And it's an alternative. If you can't use the chest press machine, do push-ups. If you can't use neither, or for some reason you can't do push-ups because you know you can do them anywhere, you can do the chest flies, which you're currently seeing on the right side. You're also going to see me use a decline chest press. I personally I usually choose 1 or 2 of those machines and do around, I'm going to say at least either some heavy sets of 5 or about 3 sets of 15 on each. Once I'm done with that, I like to do the shoulder press, which you're currently seeing me do on the left. Or shall I say, some type of heavy overhead pressing. Well, it ain't even got to be heavy. You just get you some clean sets in. It's better to do 10 clean reps than 2 nasty ones. I usually do that for, like I said, around, I'm going to say 20 minutes total for my chest and shoulders. Now, y'all see me do the inner outer thigh. I say get 3 to 4 sets around 15 to 20. When it comes to this lower back and ham thing, try to get you I'm going to say 2 sets of 15 with that. If not 3 sets of 15. Eventually your back's going to get tight. Once it does, cool. When it comes to deadlifting, If you're doing a conventional deadlift, don't try to do sets of 10. Keep it to like 3 reps or less, or no more than 5. After that, you probably want to go to the glute bridge, which you should be seeing me do now if this syncs up right and this thing doesn't shut off. I say do you sets of around 8 to 20 reps, only because they're so easy to recover from, at least from what I've experienced. And they also kind of carry over into your deadlift because all you're doing is locking out the weight. And those will definitely help fill your legs up. Now we got the good old back squat with the bar, or you can do a dumbbell squat. That's not necessarily like a dumbbell front squat. It's just like me holding the dumbbell there. Both of those are going to do the same thing. Of course, with the bar, you can overload it more. But if you're a beginner, you may like holding that dumbbell more so than having that bar on your back. 1, 2, as y'all can see on the right side, they pretty much both look the same. I'm just holding the weight either in front of me or behind me, or should I say my hand placements is different, but the same rules apply to it. Both will build your legs. If you don't want to do that, you can also just leg press. I probably leg press for my first 6 to 7 months in the gym, or at least 4. But once I felt like a heavy back squat, yeah, nothing beat it at that point in time. Once I experienced a front squat, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about it. I was finna, woo. You can do seated leg curls too, or you can do on these laying leg curls, which I should be seeing. I prefer these because it feels like I'm doing a Nordic curl, which is like a 9.9 out of 10 exercise, or even a Romanian deadlift. But unlike those, or those two, these are a whole lot easier to recover from. I'm going to tell you that much. And they can pretty much be done anywhere, as long as you got the slider disc or some slippery socks. This frog pose is really good for your inner thigh, especially if you're like a sumo deadlifter. Even the stretch itself, even without the slider, this feels really good. In my case, I had to use my knee sleeves because like that was the only thing that was able to slide back and forth across that floor. Usually the disc could do it. When it comes to those mountain climbers, that's good for cardio, core, and making you look cool in the gym. And then, of course, it'll hit your quads too. That's kind of pretty much the whole point of it. You do not have to go left to right. I personally do, because it feels best to me, and it really hammers your core. But once again, you don't have to do that. And heck, you probably won't want to do that. When it comes to those, I'll say get you around 10 to 30 seconds on, about 10 seconds off. Do about 5 to 10 intervals of that. You can use that to warm up or to burn out your quads. Pick your poison. But once you've done those, or if you do those after you've hit squats or whatever, I promise you're going to be rethinking life. Like, bro, why do I do this stuff? Especially since once you're done with that, you're gonna go home, be sore. You're gonna come back in like 2 days, 3, and be like, bruh. I think I wrote on the screen, soft side for hard surfaces, hard side for carpets and soft stuff. I was the idiot using the hard side on hardwood. That's how I scratched up my disc. Don't judge me. What you're seeing right here is some good old variations of the curl. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that I do these things a lot because I don't. Like, 1, I got crappy arm genetics. 2, I have strong enough biceps. And like 3, I don't really care for arm days myself. But you as a beginner, you should and you need to. You need to build those tendons and ligaments up. Right here, these are for the triceps, the back shoulder muscles. This will help, like having strong triceps not only make your arms bigger because they take up like 70% of your arm, if I'm right, or close to it. But they also increase your bench press and, your lockout power on overhead or anything like that. The dead leg crawl is good for your core. It's fun. You look cool. I know I said the same thing with that other exercise. And, it's something else to do in the gym. The slide out the push-up, excuse me for burping. I don't know if y'all heard it, but slide the push-up is pretty simple. You just, instead of using the ab wheel, you're going to use that to slide out. It's going to hammer your core, and then you're going to spin around and push up. This hip warm up, I think it's kind of self-explanatory, but I like to use it to warm up my hip flexors, hip socket, and stuff like that. Plus, it gives me a chance to think before I get into what you're seeing right now. Those front squats. In my case, for you, it'd probably be back squats though. The tempo squats are like a lot harder than a normal squat and thanks to you going down so slowly, Your muscles are more where they're getting more time and attention. If you ever like slow down a rep like that, even on a curl, you're like, whoa, I'm getting beat up. What you should be seeing right about now is some high handle and low handle trap bar deadlifts. Low handle is going to use a lot more hips and legs, and they are a lot harder than the high handle. High handle is some legs and some back. You usually will see most athletes using that. They are also a lot more safe than like a conventional deadlift, but either or works. I prefer low handle because it's more legs. Right here, you see me use the stretch cage. Which is something my gym got like, let's say, a month ago. And no, I'm not tight ever, but I don't want to be tight. That's why I'm trying to do some preventative maintenance, if I'm right. I think that's what it's called. You know, I'm doing one for my lower back and one for my quads on the right here. If I remember right, I'm going to have one for my outer hips. Yep, there you go. Outer hips and thigh right there. And then that's another one for the lower back. You can YouTube some more of those, and it's also like a little diagram y'all can see behind me, but yeah, it's something you'll get with experience. As long as you don't tip the cage over and you're inside it, you cool. Now I'm going to try to make this quick so I can hopefully fit it in there, but you want to be good at vertical and horizontal pulling / pushing. I'm going to talk more about this tip when I get to the tips right after this clip. But for now, just know you need to be good at all 4 of those planes. If you are, you're going to be pretty balanced too. I'm so glad we're at this point in the video. If y'all have made it this far where I can just run my mouth. All right, tip 1. Please stop thinking you need a chest day, a arm day, a back day, whatever it may be. Because I personally do full body workouts, and in my case, I got to a 525-pound deadlift in a year and a half with only, let's say, like 7 months worth of deadlifting experience, if not 6. Now, in my case, I stopped squatting. I pretty much like specialize in deadlift, but my point still stands, or the point I'm trying to make. I don't do a back day, but I have a stronger back than like literally 99% of the men I currently know, especially when we're talking about pound for pound. It's not funny. Here is tip number 2. 3,500 calories equals a pound. If you burn 500 calories for 7 days, guess what? You've officially lost 1 per pound of body fat, at least on pen and paper. You may actually, in your case, lose, let's say, 2 if you're extremely obese. If you're already super duper cut, lean, whatever you want to call it, even though you burn 500 calories per day on pen and paper, you, on the other hand, may only lose, let's say, like a third of a pound worth of fat. Ooh, excuse me. Like, that's something you could talk to Miss Ashley about. I'm sure she can, like, pretty much confirm what I'm telling you right now. Also, you can Google it. But yeah, the leaner you are, the harder it is to lose body fat. The fatter you are, or shall I say the heavier or whatever, the easier it is to lose. Here's tip number 3. Listen to your body. I cannot say that enough. In my case, I got to that fat deadlift I'm telling y'all about, a 185 overhead press after like 2.5 years of lifting. 100 pound weighted chin up. I was like 219 when I hit that after like a year and 7 months of lifting, whatever. What I'm saying is this: pretty much listen to your body. If you feel something aching or something feels off, sometimes the best thing to do is to put on your shoes. Well, I'm acting like you at home. You're not. You're gonna be in the gym. Unlike me back then. Best thing you can do is pretty much take a shower and just go to sleep. Come back tomorrow. Or if something still feels funny, go to your doctor. Or, take a week off. Don't be scared to take some time off the gym that you don't fix your body. Because either A, you can fix it now, or you can have to heal it later. And I don't think you want to do that. That's 9 to 10, 12 months, whatever, out the gym. Alright, here's tip number 4. Don't think you got to be perfect. That goes for your nutrition and your weightlifting. Just be good. You want to be better at the food, though. When it comes to trying to be perfect, try to be perfect with your nutrition. When it comes to lifting, as long as you're good at it, you shouldn't get injured unless something stupid happens. And you're going to look good. You're going to make progress in the gym. You're going to enjoy your workouts. You're not going to be a fucking perfectionist thinking, oh my God, if only my elbows were a little closer in. Now, don't get me wrong. Once you get to, let's say, a 155 overhead press, you're going to need to be damn near perfect with that bar path in order to get to, let's say, that 160, 165, 175, 185, whatever. Same thing with, let's say, going from a 275 bench to a 315. The more perfect you are, with your form, the easier that's going to be. Or the more possible. But when it comes to, like, a beginner, just try to be good. Like, I know I'm going to catch some flack for saying that, because they're going to be like, you should be trying to tell them to be perfect. Like, yeah, I guess I should be telling y'all be perfect with it, all slow and control, but that ain't real lifting. Unless you're gonna lift that way 24/7. Tip number 6: lift the way you want to. Now, don't be throwing weight around. Don't be jerking stuff like the. Well, I'm sure y'all heard that in my voice. We get jinking. Don't be doing all that. As long as you got good form and you're building muscle and you're making progress, you don't have any aching joints or anything of that nature, and you are like, happy to go to the gym. If that's happening due to you lifting weights super fast or even super slow, guess what? Keep doing it. That's an easy tip. In my case, I get criticized all the time for, oh, dude, you should have moved that weight slower. Only time I'm gonna personally move a weight slow besides certain exercises is when it's heavy. If I can pull it at the speed of light, guess what? It's too fucking light. I'm gonna go up to heavier weight. You will never see me grabbing a 2-pound plate and moving it very slowly, unless I'm doing, some injury rehab type stuff. But yeah, you know what I'm getting at. Here is tip number 8 or like 9 or whatever. Get you some headphones. Like sometimes the best thing you can do is go to the gym. Well, the best thing you can do, at least in my opinion, is to have some music you like going on in your head and just put yourself through 30 minutes of hell. Well, I'm gonna say about an hour of hell because in my case I do full body and I did it back then as a beginner. 30 minutes for legs, 15 minutes for pushing muscles, 15 minutes for pulling. Then you can do like 30 minutes of cardio if you want, but I don't really consider it part of the hour. But yeah, go in there, put in some music you like and shit. Go beast mode. You do that for, let's say, 6 months to a year, I promise you're gonna look different. About how much, I don't know, but you're gonna like, okay, I can actually feel. You're gonna actually feel the difference in about a month. Your back's gonna be a little stronger. Excuse me. Weights are gonna feel lighter. You name it. All right, here's tip number 9. If you ever need some help in the gym when it comes to exercises or like exercise selection, don't be scared to go to Instagram, YouTube, type in something like best barbell exercises or something of that nature. If you need help, if you need some help in the gym, go ask the staff for some help. Or go ask the muscular buff dude who's like, smiling or something. Don't ask the dude who look mean because he probably not gonna be too nice. I don't want you getting beat up either because you ain't gonna blame it on me. And yeah, most people in the gym are actually pretty cool, especially if you ask for help. Here's tip like number 12. Don't let one day of bad eating ruin your little cut or bulk or whatever the hell you're currently doing at that point in time. I've lost and gained 20 pounds, or shall I say I've lost and gained at least 20 pounds 5 times in my lifting career in 5 years. I also lost 35 pounds. I went from 229 down to 193.3. And like, in my case, I eat pizza one of those days of the week. I'm talking about eating like in a surplus, in bulk mode on accident. Well, I ain't gonna call it accident because I didn't care because I'm just that disciplined when it comes to like the fitness and I don't really care. But anyways, yeah, I may mess around and eat, let's say 5,500 calories on that Wednesday. But when it's said and done, I still hit my fitness goals because like Ashley told you at the beginning of the video, I will compensate somewhere else. I know if I eat, let's say, 5,500 calories, and in order to maintain my body, I need 3,500. That means I'm in a surplus around, let's say, like 1,500. For the next couple of days, I'm going to cut the calories a little harder than usual. I'm not going to be walking around hungry and stuff, but, I'm going to cut them to make up for it. Tip number 14, be consistent. When we think consistency in the gym, we think about, coming to the gym. What we don't talk about is doing the so-called same boring things. I know you're going to hate hearing that, but yeah, once you get your feet wet in the gym, you're going to realize that the squat, bench, most barbell exercises are what's going to get you big. Most time-tested dumbbell exercises are what's going to get you big. That's what's going to change your body real quickly. What's not going to change is the stupid shit you see on Instagram. Like, literally, I'm going to say, like, 70% of the time, it's like, why are you doing this? It's risky. You look stupid, at least to, like, a trained eye, and why? It's just, you're going to take 2 months to do something you could have did in 3 weeks. But, anyways, that's that tip. Be consistent. This is probably going to be close to one of the last tips. Whew. this is probably the biggest tip. Get you some gym clothes. Because I don't care if you're a man or a woman. When you get some nice gym clothes, you want to show them off. I'm going to call it what it is. Like if you're on my Instagram, you see the shirts I like to wear. Not only do they look good and they catch your eye, but they actually feel good and are cheap in my case. But yeah, I can't tell you how many people, I've seen get some gym clothes. And now I see, instead of seeing them 2 times a week, now I'm seeing them 3 or 4. Just like show off they new, Gym Shark or whatever they like to wear. Plus, it'll also make you feel better too. Like if you get some good compression pants or whatever, or even like some knee sleeves. I don't know if that's necessarily like gym clothes, but yeah, you get some of those. Squats are gonna feel better. You're gonna see more progress in your squats. Once you start seeing it, you're gonna be more likely to come back to the gym or want to go. So yeah, that's a good tip for you. Tip number like 19 or whatever. You need to realize that after about 2 or 3 years, well, not even 3 years, after about 2 years of proper lifting, that progress is going to slow down. You may have got to a 100-pound curl real quickly, but I promise you, getting to let's say 135 for 5 reps or even one, unless you weigh like 220 and you're like 6'3" or something, yeah, you're gonna earn that. Same thing goes with the muscle. Within that first year or two, you're gonna put on about 20 to 30 pounds of muscle, depending on your genetics. But after that, you're gonna be like, damn, I only gained 5 pounds of muscle this year. I only added 10 pounds to my bench press. So, yeah, just know that all that progress is gonna slow down, but you don't have to. You need to still go hard in the paint. At least 2 out of like 4 workouts a week. Here's a quick pro tip. If you know you're going to be away from the gym from 2 to 3 weeks after you've been lifting for, let's say, like a year and a half or two, but anyways, if you know you're going to be away from the gym for, let's say, 2 weeks for some reason, make sure you do not cut the calories. And if you are, you definitely don't cut them hard. Because if you cut those calories hard and you don't do crap, when you get back to the gym, you're going to feel weaker. You may even notice a little bit of muscle loss. Or more so, some glycogen. I think that's what it's called. It's like that's what gives your muscle that full look. But anyways, don't cut those calories while also cutting out the exercise, because if you do, you're gonna lose muscle mass. Also, as a natural lifter, it may take 3 to let's say 10 years to build like an impressive physique, but it also takes a while to lose it. Like natural lifters, we can lift once a week and maintain our bodies. The juicers, if they come off that sauce, y'all know what time it is. But yeah, that's the end of that little tip. Here's another tip when it comes to fat loss. Earlier I said that 3,500 calories equals a pound of fat. So 500 calories 7 days in a row equals 1 pound of pure body fat being lost, at least on pen and paper. Now what I didn't tell you was this. If you put yourself in a 500 caloric deficit, a caloric deficit of 500, you won't really feel it. If you put yourself in a 1,000 deficit under maintenance, let's say it takes 2,200 to maintain your body weight, where if you start eating 1,200, you're going to be in a 1,000 deficit. And once you get near 1,000, you start feeling lightheaded, weak, sleep problems, whatever it may be. I'm saying that to say this. Yeah, I'm sure you want to lose weight, but don't cut the calories that hard. Now, if you're extremely obese, you can get away with it, believe it or not. Like heck, you don't even have to put yourself in a deficit that big, like pure food wise. If you start moving and start like exercising in general, you're gonna transform so quick anyway. All the calories in and calories out won't really matter for you as long as you're not pigging out. I'm sure you know what I mean by that. Please do not try to take that out of context, because you're gonna start eating clean for the most part once you start exercising and trying to lose weight. Usually, once you go from eating junk to eating good food, you already put yourself in a deficit of goddamn me 800 to 1,500 sometimes, because you're no longer drinking them sodas, as she said, liquid wasted calories. You're not eating them cookies. 3 cookies is what, 180 calories. You can eat 3 packs of those. At least I know I can. You mess around and ate 2 pounds of legit body fat on pen and paper. But anyways, try not to put yourself in a deficit lower than 1,000, if not 500. Just stay there and take your time. You're also you will also be more likely to keep the weight off if you do it that way. Rapid weight loss equals pretty much usually rapid weight gain again. Because once you start, especially if you don't stick to the little diet you're doing, you're gonna go back to eating whatever you were eating before. Not necessarily even the junk food, but you may go back to eating. Oh well, I went from eating salad to steaks and fucking cornbread again. boosting them calories again without even tripping off it. Eventually, you're gonna gain most of that weight back. But yeah, just don't put yourself in a deficit under 1,000. Now you can put yourself in a deficit of 1,500 or 2,000. You know, do like a 22 2-day fast or whatever. But yeah, don't do that. I've personally done it. I've went, let's say, like 3 days without eating. I probably lost like legit 2 or 3 pounds of pure body fat off of it because I was still actually moving around at work. But yeah, I don't want you getting an eating disorder or something. Now, the last tip will be coming after this, and that'll be the end of this video. Okay, here's the last and biggest tip. Follow Ashley's Instagram or mine, or both. I mean, you should be following both, especially if you've made it this far, because she gave you some damn good information to get you started, just like hopefully I did. She was definitely a lot more professional than me. But anyways, that's the biggest tip I can give you. Enter my DMs, enter her DMs, ask questions, or YouTube X, Y, and Z, or ask me, hey man, what's the difference between the weighted dip and what's the difference between a weighted tricep dip and a weighted chest dip, or something of that nature. What's the difference in this type of carb and that type of carb? Something. But yeah, long story short, follow our Instagrams, enter them DMs, have some fun. Hell, I even video chat you. We can talk about God knows what while doing it. But alright. I'm going to see y'all next time. If you made it this far, please leave a comment, sub to the page, like the video, all that good stuff.
Bore witness to the manifestation of humanity's rage.